just you get to choose. Right? Like here's the scenario. The environment gives us something which can be perceived as negative, can be perceived as not working, can be perceived as problematic. The world's ending. But we get to choose to see it like that, or we get to choose to see it as an opportunity.
So clearly that it's my responsibility now to do that for other people. If I have information and, other people's success is my success and vice versa.
Because you know what? Like, the challenges or the roadblocks are the journey themselves.
There's no big things. It's all little things compounding on top of each other. Larry Long Jr. is the founder and CEO, Chief Energy Officer of LLJR Enterprises, which focuses on sales motivation and inspiration, as well as team trainings. Larry is the host of the Midweek, Midday Motivational Minute, co-author of Color Outside the Lines, and author of JOLT, a new book that he has written coming out in the spring of 2022. As a former college athlete, go Terps, he played baseball for the University of Maryland. Larry is extremely passionate about coaching and helping professionals take their game to the next level. Get your energy shields ready for this week's episode of Truth Seekers as we discuss freedom and authenticity, what we know versus what we do, and dealing with fear by taking control of the narrative with Larry Long Jr. All right, we welcome everybody back to another episode of Truth Seekers along with Coach Nick Davies and myself, Coach Josh Greco. Get ready for the energy, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Long Jr., welcome to the show.
I appreciate you. Hold on. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. I think they can hear me now. Happy to be here.
2 microphones. I love that.
Maybe you need a couple more. Yeah.
Hey, got more. Larry, I'd like to start out with your journey to what you do now. Obviously, people feel your energy just from a couple seconds on camera already. But tell me these last couple of years, what it's meant to you, what you're doing right now, and what's going on. Bring us up to speed here.
So I got to go back to my roots. Played baseball at University of Maryland, go Terps, and I've been a journeyman, consulting, sales professional, making 150 dials, cold calls a day, sales leader, sales manager, director, you name it. And for the last coming up on a year, I've been full-time rocking the mic, just sowing positivity, optimism, transformation into the lives of other individuals and organizations, which that's right where I need to be. I was doing it before in corporate America, the confines of corporate America, kind of buttoned up. Hello, this is Larry Long Jr. Now I get to be myself. And if I want to, I can rock the blue blockers. I mean, shoot, I don't have corporate America coming down on me, legal saying, oh, you can't rock the pink flamingo glasses. That's against policy. I mean, we can have all the pineapples that we want. So I'm enjoying life. I'm sowing into others, helping them to step into their greatness.
I love it. I'm just curious what the previous version of Larry Long Jr. was before this. Like, what were you, like a stiff? Did you really have it buttoned to the top button? Like, what has this given you to make this decision to do this and to be yourself and to channel these parts of you that were probably bursting, coming through here?
Yeah, I mean, I had to put my mask on, literally and figuratively, keep my droplets and my energy to myself. Corporate America wasn't ready for Larry Long Jr. So I had to bust out. I feel like busting loose, but it's been so freeing to be able to be myself in all of my authenticity, I guess. I'm using big words I can't even spell. But corporate America has its place, and it was comfortable. I can't lie. It was cool getting that paycheck every 2 weeks and commission check every month and bonus every quarter. It was real comfortable. But I ended up taking the plunge into the uncomfortable, and it's been great. It's been great really being able to show others that, hey, you can be yourself. You don't need to put the mask on when you go in. If you do, you might want to consider going to a different organization that really respects you for who you are and how you are. Now, of course, there's boundaries. I'm not out of bounds, but I like to have fun. And I believe you can be serious about your business. I'm serious about my business, but you can do it with a smile on your face. You can do it having fun with others. I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think you can have it all, and that's what I'm looking to build.
I know you're saying things that resonate with Coach Nick when he's like a bobblehead over there. Just a lot of nodding over there. So Coach Nick, what are you taking away? I noticed that there's a lot of stuff that's resonating here.
I started out in a corporate, not corporate America, corporate England, and I've been all over the world. So you can call me corporate world maybe for 20 years. And I was in that mask, you referenced it. I mean, obviously that's very topical the last couple of years, but it was like a identity. I was always young. I started out when I was 16. So I always thought that I better not act immature because I'm 16. Everyone's going to think that already. And obviously that's in my head. And that propagated through my whole career. Like I'm the youngest person here always. So I've got to be very serious, very mature. I can't show that there's anything that's fun around it. And it's like, guess what? I didn't have any fun. Outside of it, like I'm with people, but like same thing, you know? So I really feel that for sure. And I wonder, like, what was it a combination of things, Larry? What was the catalyst for you, the moment that made you go, like, I can probably be better at what I do, add even more value, and I can have fun. What was that moment like?
Yeah, well, sometimes God has to give you a kick in the behind, and I got that swift kick. I think it was March 26th or 24th, whatever that Friday was, when my company decided to separate. They eliminated my position, even though I knew where I needed to be. Yeah. But I was scared. I'll be honest with you. I was scared. It's tough to make that jump on your own, especially for me. I used to own an indoor baseball and softball academy, teaching youngsters the fundamentals of the game on the baseball and softball diamond, but more importantly, the fundamentals of life. And unfortunately, after a year and a half, we had to close up shop. We ran out of money. We had more money going out the back door than we had coming in the front door. That's a recipe for disaster for a business. And I'll be there was some scar tissue there. My wife said, "You're so confident in every area of your life. Why are you so scared?" I said, well, I don't want to put our family, my beautiful wife, my 2 kids, through what I went through when I was single, of not being able to pay my car note, not being able to pay my rent, and having to call mom, dad, and grandmom, "Can you bail a brother out?" I said, no, I'm going to do what it takes to take care of my family. Now, my wife said, "Hey, baby, you must not know about me. You got a real one. Let's go to work." And we planned financially, we planned business-wise, and she said, "Hey, we're ready." And happy wife, happy life. She's the smarter one in our family. We've been rolling.
I love it. That's so great. So tell me where you sit today, Larry, with like, if you project, I'm assuming you're having a bunch of fun, you're having some success, like where could this go? Where are you planning on taking this?
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, the sky isn't the limit. There is no limit. I mean, like Michael Jordan said, the ceiling is the roof, whatever that means. I'm raising the roof, but I've got a book that I'm in final edits. Who would have thunk that Larry Long Jr. would be an author? I can't even speak right. I don't even speak the Queen's English correctly. How am I going to write a book? But in the words of Kevin Garnett, when he won the championship, anything is possible. So, I mean, right now I'm focused on the motivational speaking. I work with some coaching clients individually, helping them level up. I do some consulting with sales teams, sales leadership, company leadership, and then I'm going to be a published author. So who knows what the future entails, but I can tell you that at its core, we're going to be serving individuals and organizations to level up.
I love that. And this might seem like an obvious question and answer, but I'd like to know what drives you. So if it's, the simple answer might be to show other people that they can be themselves, right, and succeed. But what does it do for you? I'm just curious why this is the path and how you're being fulfilled in this journey that you're taking.
Yeah, I've always been a coach, giver. I grew up around VA medical centers, Veterans Administration. My father grew up in Baltimore City, only one from his family to graduate high school, surrounded by crime, by drugs, track. He was a runner. He was a track star. He was a long jumper, triple jumper at Maryland. I'm the black sheep of my family playing baseball. My sister long jump, triple jumped at Maryland as well. But I'm carrying on the baton from his legacy. I lost my father 6 years ago, and I in the relay race, you pass the stick. I got the stick from my dad, and I'm passing on that legacy of giving back. And you can mark my words, December the 11th, 2025, it'll be the 10-year anniversary of my father passing. I've already put the stake in the ground. I'm gonna either have broken ground on a community center for inner city youth, or we're gonna have money designed to help inner city youth with higher education in the name of my father, Shorty Long. He was the original Larry Long, but his nickname was Shorty Long. He was 5'8", a gentle giant. I'm 5'9 3/4. I like to round up to 6 foot, close enough. But really what drives me is passing along his legacy, serving as an example to my family, to my kids, to my wife, as well as to others. I've been blessed. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I've really been fortunate and blessed. My job here on this earth is to pass that on to others so that we can lift everyone up. And it's like a snowball. You lift up one person, and that now has an impact on 5 other people. Those 5 people now have an impact, and now you start to multiply. Better watch out now. So we're going to be putting some smiles on people's faces. Like I say in my book, it's called JOLT. Get zapped into intentionality, rediscover and believe in your inner greatness. We're going to get this self-doubt. A lot of times people have that FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt running through their head. I'm here to knock that out so that you believe that you can be the best that you can be.
Knock it out safely, I hope, I'm sure. Well, you're speaking my language there. So I'm involved myself in a nonprofit. I help youth sports, youth hockey actually here in Charlotte. And it's a passion of mine. And I think it comes from this place. Actually, Coach Nick, I'd like to get your thoughts on this because I watched a video, I think it was a comedian a couple of years ago, and he talks about giving back to others. And I think we all we have this connection with other people and we want to inspire and lift others up. But when you talk about like community center and doing those things that really, like, that's brick and mortar right there. There's no getting around that. I think we can get to that place to only when our cups are full. I think we have to take that journey, and once we learn that for ourselves, then we can do it for other people. Do you find truth in that, Coach?
I think that's a really interesting point, because like most things, we tend to think them as binary, but I think there's a scale to be remembered here as well, because I think some people have more naturally have an inclination for actually what they do get filled up is filling up other people's stuff. And I think that's true for everyone in a certain sense, but like some people will feel that push earlier. So I think yes is the answer to both, really. Like I think you need to have a certain level. Look, we need to have a certain level of security, safety, to know that, and I'm sure you see this, Larry, right? You want to make sure that your kids and your wife are good. First things first. Are they eating? Are we figured out? Is the car note getting paid for, like you said, and the roof's overhead? It's like, then some people need a whole bunch of other things on top of that before they can start to give back. But ultimately, I think that's where we all get to. I think everyone's different depending on where you are in your journey, different levels of certainty. The 15-year-old version of you is going to be different than the 50-year-old version of you when it comes to that also. So I think it depends, right? It depends on where we are and what you give and what you've tapped into for yourself as well, right? Because there might be something out there, like you, Coach, like for the hockey thing for you is a big thing, right? So you get attached to that, you get super passionate about it. If it had been something else, you might still be able to give back just as in a lot, but just a different avenue, like a different way that it might not give you so much juice, you know? So I think it's different.
So true. I agree. And I love what you said, Coach Josh, in terms of making sure that you put your oxygen on first.
Yeah.
In order to give oxygen. I spoke to a group of frontline workers, healthcare workers last Wednesday morning. And we all know this, but knowing isn't doing. They give so much. They give. That sometimes, and I'll venture to say oftentimes, they don't give to themselves. So they're rolling on empty. Their cup isn't overflowing and they're giving, but there's no more to give. So I shared with them a message of, let's make sure that we sow into what's important for us, our priorities, so that we can then be full to give our best, to give our all to our patients, to our coworkers, to our family members, to our friends, to our community, to our fitness. We all know that health is our wealth. sometimes we give so much supporting others' fitness that we're out of oxygen ourselves. Our finances, yes, we've got to be secure in our finances if we want to give our all to other people. So I agree wholeheartedly.
Larry, do you find that that message resonated? Like, I feel like it's different to hear that and then to experience it or to live through it. And I think maybe people live through different versions of that up until hearing that. But did you get a lot of questions from that, or like what was the reaction? Could you read the room at all?
Yeah, I could read the Zoom, not the room. But there were, I mean, it's one of those things. I do this for a living. Everyone knows this. We all know this. We're not stupid, but what we know versus what we do. Uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. Oftentimes there's a huge disconnect. I know I'm not supposed to be eating fried chicken, but you asked me what time it is. Shoot, it's bow time. I was just in Charlotte over the weekend. I went to the FC Charlotte first soccer game.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
No time like bow time. Come on now, coach. So oftentimes we know what we're supposed to be doing, but doing it. And that's what I'm there for, to let people know that, hey, motivation, inspiration, that comes and it goes. Transformation, your commitments, your habits, what you do on a daily basis really determines your success in life, both personally and professionally.
Bingo. You mentioned fear earlier. I don't want to hog the conversation here. I got questions here. So fear, and what has come through for me just with a couple conversations with you is just the energy. Like you understand the concept of just bringing it, right? You just bring yourself, and it's contagious. It's intoxicating. Other people like just resonate with that. I think I would love to get your stance on fear though, because fear, in my experience, can only be overcome when you really face it. And I think people who maybe have this appearance of high energy, like to me, it's like, oh, Larry's never gone through fear. Like, look at him, he's crushing it right now, right? But that couldn't be further from the truth. So I would like to know somebody who shows up like you do, and how you deal with fear. Like, how do you make sense of that, and how do you battle the fears that you've overcome?
It's an everyday struggle. I mean, like I said, I played baseball at University of Maryland. There's a chapter in my book called Strikeouts. They're a part of life. If you're living life, you're going to strike out. I don't care if it's on the baseball field, the ball diamond, the basketball court. I don't care if it's in the classroom, in the business setting, in your personal life. We all go through strikeouts. We have highs, we have lows, ups, downs, twists and turns. Fear, at least for me, I battle it every day because there's a voice that tells me and really tries to define me. I am. Sometimes that voice says, I am not smart enough. I am not good enough. I am whatever. You can fill in the blank. But what I've learned is that I've got to take control of that narrative. I've got to make sure I'm not writing a story of fake news, if you want to say, and really presenting an uplifting, a positive encouragement. I work with a coach, and she said, Larry, this befuddles me. You're so encouraging, so positive, optimistic with everyone else. But when you talk about yourself, womp womp, survey says, nah. So we've been intentionally working on my self-talk, my self-belief. My book has been therapy for me. And I know I'm not the only one out there, which is why I'm so excited, because it's helped me. Now, fear, I don't have the magic formula for overcoming fear. I'm battling it every day. But what works for me is affirmations. When I get up and I stand up, in the words of the great Bob Marley, and I tell myself, you are great. And I say it out loud. When I was younger, we moved around a lot. My mom, we would say our prayer. She used to make me stand in the middle of the room and say 10 times, I am somebody. You got this little nappy-headed 7-year-old strutting around talking about, I am somebody. Everyone else is looking at him like, who is this little kid? So affirmations, really, that's one aspect. Understanding my why and what drives me, my family. When I just picked up my kids, I'm glad I made it on time. I just picked up my kids in carpool. Kids are watching, and they're watching intently. Not what do I say, but they're like, what does daddy do? So really making sure that I proactively put myself in uncomfortable situations. You think about it, I love to talk, but standing up and talking in front of a group, I don't care how many mics you have, that ain't natural. I still get nervous, but I practice. And then I say, hey, this isn't about me. This is about serving others. So that's a long-winded answer. I don't know if I even answered the question. You're like, oh, strike three, Larry.
No. That was great. I actually wrote something down right in the beginning that you said was take control of the narrative, because our thoughts go crazy, right? We don't have control over our thoughts, but we can become aware of them. And those are where some of those belief systems come through. With who knows where they came from, right? They were implanted at a young age, or other people. Yeah, but just becoming aware and then changing that, recognizing we have the power over that, I think is the game changer. That's it right there.
True, so true. Coach Nick, I see the gears turning. What's on your mind, dog?
Reminds me of a very specific Tony Robbins incantation rather than an affirmation to get really part of it. Like, now I'm the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will create, not destroy. I will believe, not doubt. I'm a force for good. I set new standards. Love that. It's really reminding me of that. Thank you very much, Larry. It's like, you're the voice.
That's right. So true.
Demand, create that. What you need for yourself. Great message.
100%.
And it's contagious. I know we all want to keep our droplets to ourselves. This is a shout out to you, Josh. Cam Newton. Yeah, put the mask on, but it's contagious to other people. I mean, when you bring high energy, there's some people that are savage that are just like, nope, I'm not going to receive it. But your average person is like, you know what? I like this. I wish I could be like this. And the more I do it, the more people say, you know what? I'm going to be myself. I'm tired of putting on the mask and trying to be someone that I'm not. So that's kind of the mission I'm on.
Love it. Awesome stuff. Hey, we can talk for hours about this, but what we normally do at this point in the show is just begin to identify something we're taking away from our conversation, a principle that we can share with people who are watching this, that they can practice it in their own life. I like to go first because usually we'll give the guest the last word. So we'll go myself, Coach, and then Larry. But for me, it was something in the very beginning that you said there's freedom and authenticity. And that resonated to my core, my being right there. So I think of my coach journey and becoming a coach and what it took to do that, to be that. And it kept coming back to just being myself. The things that I can do naturally that I've been studying for years leading up to this, and just getting into my authentic space and delivering results for people, it comes naturally to me. So just fighting that it's all up here. It's all that stuff there. So the freedom and authenticity, though, I felt free. I felt like I was being somebody that I wanted to be, and it just came naturally to me for the first time in a work environment. So thank you for sharing that.
And when you want to be that, and when you are that, it doesn't matter what happens, because you're you in the whole point. There's no escaping anywhere because you're already there, which is really cool. And I wanted my takeaway here is to come back to the fear part, and a reminder that, like, that, I think is a great question, Coach, because it never goes away. The game isn't to play a game of removing fear. It's not about that. Fear is there to help us, to drive us. It's helpful. And it's a reminder to keep us in the zone, right? Like, courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing it anyway. It's getting up, and every time you do it, you moved it back a little bit further. And so, like, it's just playing the game at a high level on a continual basis. So thank you for that reminder, plus the incantations. Awesome stuff.
Bring us home, Larry, and plug that book one more time. If you could hold that up, we'd love to.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming out in mid-May. JOLT, get zapped into intentionality, rediscover, and believe in your inner greatness. It's going to give you a zap and really provide you with a blueprint to keep that momentum going, even when the book is done, even when I've long gone. But my biggest thing, and I appreciate it, when we think about truth seekers, I think of a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So I'm going to ask all your listeners and all your viewers the question, when was the last time you did something for someone else? And what was it? How did it make you feel? How did it make them feel? And when are you going to do it again? If you can answer that question each and every day, woo, in the words of the great philosopher, J.J. Walker, Dynamite. So I just appreciate y'all for hosting me. I hope this was helpful to somebody.
Amen. We never know who, but we're sure it is helpful to somebody. So appreciate you, Larry. Another Truth Seekers first today. I've never had a guest start in a sitting position and end standing up. So this is awesome. Feeling that energy today. Love it.
Awesome stuff. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. Have a great week.
Thank you for watching another episode of Truth Seekers. We appreciate your interaction. So please comment, like, subscribe to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want more, check out some of our links. Links to our masterclass, The Achiever's Mindset, and come join our LinkedIn group. And what do you want to see more of? Remember, we're here to share the simple secrets of successful. So help us do that. What do you want to see? What do you want to see more of? Thanks, and see you again next time.